Hello folks, and welcome back to Eerie Storytime. Today we venture back up north to Canada for another peek into the shadows surrounding a mythical beast. It emerged from the waters of British Columbia, scaly, humanoid, and unlike anything witnesses had seen before. The Thetis Lake Monster is a legend that blurs the line between cryptid and creature feature. But is it a hoax, or something that still lurks beneath the surface? It was a pleasant summer evening in 1972. The sun was beginning to set over Thetis Lake, casting long shadows across the water. The sky was painted in hues of orange and pink, reflecting off the calm surface of the lake. Two young boys were enjoying an evening swim in the lake, located just outside Victoria, British Columbia. The water was cool and refreshing, a perfect escape from the summer heat. Their names were reported as Josh and Mike, though their true identities remain a closely guarded secret to this day. They were best friends, spending almost every summer day at the lake. They were unaware that their peaceful swim was about to take a terrifying turn. The lake, usually a place of fun and laughter, was about to become the setting for a nightmare. As the boys splashed in the water, they noticed something strange. The water, which had been so clear, began to ripple and swirl. Something was moving beneath the surface, creating a swirling vortex that pulled at their legs. The boys tried to swim away, but the force was too strong. At first they thought it was just a large fish, but as the water cleared, they saw something that chilled them to the bone. It was not a fish, but something far more sinister. It was a creature unlike anything they had ever seen before. Its silhouette was dark and menacing, moving with an eerie grace. It had a long, serpentine body covered in slimy, dark green scales. The scales glistened in the dim light, adding to the creature's otherworldly appearance. Its head was aquatic, with glowing eyes that seemed to pierce through the murky water. The eyes were like two burning coals, filled with an unsettling intelligence. Panicked, the boys scrambled to shore, their hearts pounding in their chests. They could feel the creature's gaze following them, adding to their terror. As they stumbled onto the safety of the beach, one of the boys, Josh, cried out in pain. He had felt a sharp sting as they fled the water. There was a deep gash on his leg, oozing blood into the water. The wound was fresh and looked like it had been made by something with sharp claws. The boys couldn't say for sure what had happened in the chaos. They were too frightened to think clearly. Shaking with fear and adrenaline, the boys ran for help, their terrifying tale marking the beginning of the legend of the Thetis Lake Monster. This encounter would haunt them for the rest of their lives. News of the boys' encounter spread through the community like wildfire. The small town, usually quiet and uneventful, was suddenly buzzing with whispers and speculations. Everyone had an opinion, and the story quickly became the talk of the town. At first, many dismissed it as a childhood prank or an exaggeration fueled by an overactive imagination. Skepticism was rampant, with adults laughing it off and kids trying to replicate the story with their own pranks. However, the boys' insistence on what they had seen, coupled with the unexplained wound on Josh's leg, lent an unsettling air of credibility to their story. Parents began to worry, examining the wound closely, and discussing the possibility of something more sinister lurking in the lake. Over the next few weeks, more people came forward claiming to have seen the creature. The community was divided, with some eager to share their own encounters, and others still skeptical but curious. A couple of fishermen reported seeing a large dark shape moving through the water, creating a wake that rocked their small boat. Their account added weight to the boys' story, making it harder for the skeptics to dismiss the sightings. A young couple picnicking by the lake's edge described seeing a long serpentine neck emerge from the water, its eyes glowing ominously in the twilight. Their detailed description sent shivers down the spines of those who heard it. Each new sighting added another layer of intrigue to the growing legend of the Thetis Lake Monster. The local newspaper ran stories almost daily, and the community couldn't get enough of the mystery. People shared their stories, often with animated gestures trying to convey the terror they felt. Descriptions of the creature varied, but certain details remained consistent. Some witnesses described a creature with a long serpentine body, ranging anywhere from 10 to 20 feet in length. Others insisted it was a large humanoid. The sheer size of the creature was enough to instill fear in the hearts of the townsfolk. Its skin was always described the same as being dark green or brown, scaled, slick and slimy. The texture and color added to the eerie and otherworldly nature of the creature. The most common terrifying detail across the statements was the creature's large glowing eyes penetrating the darkness. These eyes haunted the dreams of those who claimed to have seen the monster, adding a chilling element to the legend. As reports of the monster continued to surface, local authorities found themselves under increasing pressure to investigate. The community was abuzz with speculation, and the authorities knew they had to act swiftly to maintain public order. The Thetis Lake Monster was no longer just a local legend, it was making headlines across the country. News outlets from coast to coast were picking up the story, adding fuel to the already blazing fire of curiosity and fear. Tourists flocked to the lake hoping to catch a glimpse of the elusive creature, while others avoided the area altogether, fearing for their safety. The local economy saw a strange mix of booming business and wary residents. Divers were sent into the depths of the lake, armed with cameras and sonar equipment, determined to uncover the truth behind the sightings. Their mission was clear: find evidence or put the rumors to rest once and for all. They searched for hours, combing through the murky water but found no trace of the creature. The lack of evidence only deepened the mystery, leaving everyone more puzzled than before. The lake, known to be deep and labyrinthine, seemed to hold its secrets close. Its dark waters and complex underwater terrain made the search even more challenging. The police, though skeptical, couldn't ignore the growing public concern. They held meetings with worried citizens, trying to provide reassurance while also seeking any new information. They increased patrols around the lake, hoping to reassure the public and, perhaps, catch a glimpse of the creature themselves. The heightened presence was meant to deter any potential hoaxes as well. Despite their efforts, the monster remained elusive, its existence as difficult to prove as it was to disprove. The legend of the Thetis Lake Monster continued to captivate and confound, leaving everyone to wonder what might be lurking beneath the surface. Despite the growing number of eyewitness accounts, skepticism about the Thetis Lake Monster remained high. Scientists and wildlife experts dismissed the sightings as misidentifications or hoaxes. Some suggested that the creature was nothing more than a giant sturgeon, known to inhabit the lake, while others pointed to otters or muskrats as possible culprits. One particularly popular theory centered around the recent release of a horror film featuring a lake monster. Some speculated that the sightings were the result of a prank, with someone donning a monster costume to scare unsuspecting swimmers. This theory gained traction when a costume matching the description of the monster was found discarded near the lake. However, many argued that the costume was too flimsy and unrealistic to account for the sightings, particularly the wound on Josh's leg. Despite the doubts and skepticism, one thing was certain: the legend of the Thetis Lake Monster had captured the public's imagination. The lack of conclusive evidence did little to dampen the public's fascination with the Thetis Lake Monster. In the absence of concrete answers, speculation flourished. Theories about the creature's origins and motives abounded, ranging from the plausible to the downright bizarre. Some local residents, drawing upon indigenous folklore, believed the creature to be a supernatural entity, a guardian spirit protecting the lake from intruders. Others speculated that it was a prehistoric relic, a plesiosaur that had somehow survived extinction and made its home in the depths of Thetis Lake. There were those who believed the monster to be extraterrestrial in origin, perhaps a pet or experiment that had escaped from a crashed UFO. The lake's proximity to a Canadian Forces base fueled speculation about secret government experiments gone wrong. That's a wrap on the story of the Thetis Lake Monster. Stories about cryptids are always interesting but hard to buy into for most people. It's always fascinating when so many witnesses come forward, but when the details of what they saw don't align, it certainly fuels the fire of a hoax. Then again, try telling that to the people who believe in their hearts that they saw this menacing beast which still haunts their nightmares. Thank you for joining me on today's peek into the shadows of folklore. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. As always, I'd love to see your feedback in the comments. Until next time.